Hi, Aaron.
Hi, dear.
Hi.
Hi there.
So, as of recently, you've become our clinical director, and we're thrilled to have you. And we're coming up on 8 years of being, a facility, a successful running facility. And the irony and the coincidence is that both you and I have been at Avalon for most of this time. You came shortly after I did. I came before the doors even opened. So it's kind of cool that we get to sit here like this and have a little Q&A discussion in light of our 8-year anniversary. So thank you for taking the time. And we're doing this Zoom because we're doing it safe and all of that stuff. So we put together some questions to sort of do a light discussion on, and so I'm gonna go for it. So what do you think your first impressions were when you started at Avalon?
Well, I was impressed and very intimidated. I initially came to Avalon to accrue hours for my drug and alcohol counseling certificate. And so coming here, not really having any experience in the mental health field, I come here and I see the professionals, working firsthand, their knowledge, intelligence, their fine-tuned skills. I did a lot of observing, and I was a little intimidated, connecting with the clients. I was so conscientious of what to say, what to do. I didn't want to do anything that would trigger them. So yeah, definitely impressed and intimidated at the same time.
You've always kept your cool pretty well, I must say. That's just an observation on my part. But I too, I was most impressed with. I was most impressed, and what really got me on board was the fact that we were treating primary mental health. I had never experienced that in my career, and I was impressed with the magnitude and the vision of how big this thing was, and we were going to do something different. And so I was super excited about that. Yeah, it was really interesting getting something so grand off its feet, I must say. All right, so this is a good one. How has Avalon changed you as a person?
Wow. I I mean, I think I don't know, I think I've become a better man, a better friend, a better husband, a better father, um, learning to listen acutely, um, flexibility in thought, empathy and boundaries, patience, and I think I do have an eagerness to really understand, or at least try to understand, somebody else's pain.
I agree. That's all good stuff. I don't know. It's a tough one for me. How's it changed me as a person? I think I can relate to some of those things for sure. The empathy and the listening skills. My listening skills were definitely fine-tuned. I started in admissions at Avalon, so I was definitely the listener in the admissions department. And I feel like, just listening to somebody for the first 5 minutes on a call, they really do reveal most of what's going on in the first 5 minutes. And if you just listen, I would get compliments from people saying, "Wow, you're the first person that ever just listened to me." So, I took those kind of things, I took that with me, and it's made me a stronger person also on the inside. And, um, you know, uh, continuously motivated to help people no matter what, and maintain integrity. So yeah, it's been there's so many things I'm grateful for, and that I attribute to like working at Avalon and being there for so long. But but yeah, definitely passionate about the facility we work at. I love it. What is the most memorable moment you've been a part of at Avalon?
Um, family program.
Hmm.
Um, we have clients' family members fly from all around the world to engage and participate in 3 days of a robust family program. And I actually facilitate two of those groups, the multifamily process group, and then this letter writing reading group where the clients and the family members, they write a letter and read their letters to each other, um, but with all the other clients and all the other clients' family members present in the room. And to bear witness to these corrective emotional experiences, um, it's pretty profound.
I love that, seeing, that it just doesn't stop with the client. I think that from what I've observed over the years that, family involvement is almost crucial if,
Mhm.
I mean, to one's recovery. And I like how we really, encourage that, on a regular basis. When we were doing it, having the families at the facility, I love that because, I mean, they would still come back the next month and the next month, and then also working with some of the somewhat resistant family members who were like, oh, I've done this before. What would be different this time? Um, the fact is you don't know what's going to be different this time, so just show up. you know but I appreciate all the effort that we put into the family and educating them. There's some complicated diagnoses that they're not, they're new to them. It's not just substance abuse, alcoholism. There might be some, early onset, like, there's schizophrenia, there's bipolar disorder, there's things that we have to educate the families about, because this is a lifetime thing. So I've always appreciated that, the family work too. Yeah. Um,
Trauma seems to be a trend,
mm,
and if the clients and the family members can acknowledge that trauma occurred and they feel safe enough to process those subsequent painful emotions, it can be so liberating
yeah,
for all the participants.
yeah, yeah. And realizing that, they have a part in this, they have a part in all of it. Yeah, there's some magic in that for sure. Yeah. Um, uh, Yeah, I guess for me, my most surprising moment at Avalon was that when I left and I came back. I've never done that before. I was motivated to work in a nonprofit and switch the gears a little bit. And, I was invited back in a new position at Avalon, and I've never regretted it once. It's just been amazing. What an amazing opportunity to be in this position as a, clinical outreach and business development, and represent the facility that I love on a different level. So never done that before, but yeah, that's what I personally remember. um, what do you feel has been Avalon's greatest accomplishment as a treatment provider?
Uh, Quality care. We think outside of the box. We integrate evidence-based modalities and innovation, and we provide an individualized, it's a lot of clinical jargon, I guess, but but it's true, an individualized multimodal plan aimed to tease out and treat the client's specific presenting issues.
Yeah, I agree. That term is thrown around a lot, like we customize, but we actually really do. I mean, considering, I think one of our I feel one of the biggest accomplishments is actually really pulling off true dual diagnosis treatment with, the ability to treat primary mental health disorders, without, and to combine, some people find that they may have substance abuse issues when they didn't realize they did. It's kind of amazing. So, I really have admired, us as a facility advocating for what we see the client's needs are and adding that to the programming. Like, oh, we're having a lot of people with, sex and love addiction problems, boundary issues. Let's get someone on board for that. Disordered eating, we have someone on board for that. I mean, what I've always wanted, if anybody ever asked me, it's more for the clients. And we've done that over time. Like, what do we need here to add to the menu for what we're seeing the most of, and in order to treat the clients properly. I love that. We're not skimping on the details or the services. We really want to. And the truth is, like you said, I mean, in a way, like it has to be customized. It has to be that way because every person is so different. Their traumas are different. Their diagnoses are different. I mean, and you can't just blanket statement substance abuse or drug addiction, because there's so much going on underneath that too. So we really need to assess, get to know somebody, and then develop what their proper treatment plan is. And I just love it because we actually do it. We do. So, okay. So, well, this is kind of self-evident. What have you accomplished professionally as a result of working at Avalon?
Well, before I came to Avalon, I obtained my master's degree in criminal justice from John Jay back in New York City, and then went into UCLA's drug and alcohol counseling certification program because I had this idea that I could work with like the prison population, Many inmates are there on drug-related charges due to addiction. So I came to Avalon initially to accrue hours for that particular program. And my boss at the time, Dr. Hillary Behrens, she said, you seem to kind of have a knack for this, but you're limited in terms of what you can do as just a counselor. You need to go back to school and get a master's in psychology and become an LMFT. So that's what I did.
She saw something special in you, and she teased it out. She challenged you, and here we are.
You did, and it changed my life.
Yeah. I have to say, I mean, I've told you this before, but having somebody that's grown up, so to speak, professionally at the facility, and then now as the clinical director, I think it just makes all the difference. I really do. It's like you understand every different level, of the gears of the machine, and how it needs to be well oiled and whatnot, and just how you can be supportive to your team professionally. It's
Thanks,
great.
Steve.
I love it. Okay, so final question. What are you hoping to see at Avalon in the next 8 years?
Why don't you can you answer that question first?
Can I ask you that question first?
No. Can you answer the question first?
Oh, can I answer it? I'd say, what would I like to see? What would I see happen at Avalon in the next 8 years? It's hard to answer. My knee-jerk answer is, just to stay true to what we do and keep the integrity that we have. Also, I always wanted us to expand on a more affordable level and make our model, available to more people that can't afford treatment. So maybe just expanding in a way where our model is more available to people. But, at the same time, there's something very special about how small Avalon is and how specialized it is. So growth is scary, but, I also love, the idea of offering it to, more people, different demographics and whatnot. So, I mean, that is an idea, but I think, mainly my hope and wish for Avalon is that it doesn't change too much,
kind of like my answer, to continue to provide quality care, to continue to think outside of the box, and to really facilitate healing for people and to help them sustain the healing and the recovery for many, many, many years so that these clients can live very full, rich, productive lives.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I appreciate the effort that we all put into each individual, and I feel that, what makes me the happiest and the safest is that we are, safety is the main concern, and that's a top priority, and that makes me feel safe. Our doctors will say, no, this person can't admit because of this reason or that reason, or we have to, refer somebody out to this before they come in, stabilize, whatnot, or somebody's ready to come in, but everything is so skillfully assessed prior to, and that's for the safety of the client and the other clients, and I love that. And I believe we do what's fair for the client. I feel like we're fair, and I think that's, for me personally, it's a top priority, and I'd love to see more of that and just continue in that way. Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dia, for your time.
I appreciate it.